Welcome to the Mystery Font. You are more than a brain, you are love's expectation. You are the brain, awake, liaise your ray. From all brains to all brains, the brain. From your brain each day, you are the imagination ache. The aim of your rake. Radio science brain, radio science break. Imagination aim, imagination aim. Mind made this contagion contain. Radio science brain, emaciated. Fabric can reconstitute, can remake. We are the sentient frame, imagination, mind made. Mind made this container from pain. Radio science brain remain. This is the science clarion ache. I see this iceberg so plain. Imagination aim. The mind made this aim. The mind makes. Imagination ache, imagination aid. Contain. Synaptically liaised, it's always been more or less this way. Imagination may be game to play, remain always the agent of change. Radio science brain remain. Come came to play. Come came today. Imagination aim. Imagination aim. Contain this contagion. Cantankerous aim. Radio science brain. The mind made this aim. The mind has made this aim, this ache, this brain. Radio science break. Emancipate, the mind made this ache contain. Radio science brain. Emancipate, emancipate, the mind may begin. The mind may begin to play today. The mind may begin to play today. Remain. The nature ate. The nature makes. Radio science brain innate relay. Some play, some play, emancipate the mind may be game. To play today remains. Remain the main line of imagination contain. Radio science brain, the mind made this ache. This aching aim, this sentient stain, this strain from all brains to all brains. Relay the science craving, imagine it waving, not evading the mind. May be game to play today, the mind may be game. To play today, the mind may be game to play. Radio science brain contain this cantankerous aim. Contain this cantankerous frame. The mind made this contagious. It ages the sage, the mage mains this aim. Radio science brain. Emancipate the mind made this aim. This ache, this aim, this ache. Radio science brain. Radio science brain, the mind may be game to play today. We are the science clarion innate relay. We've always been this way. Imagination may be game to play today. Pretend that kindness came instead to play, to contribute, to pitch it in some way. Radio science brain contain the same. Radio science brain germane. Pretend that kindness came and rang the grain. Radio science brain germane, germane. Radio science brain imagination aim. The mind may contain the gray array liaised cantankerous agent campaign. The mind may be game to diagnose what approaches, what's on the horizon again. Today, like every Groundhog's Day, we wait to wake. The iceberg looming every day like it just came in to break. But it's been years and there it looms the same way. Is this sane? Is this sane? Is this sane? Is this image true? Or some part of the reality in our frame? What are you doing there, buddy? Are, do I have a read? Do I call you Burgles? Hmm. Burgles. All right. We'll start there, I guess. Why won't you tell me what you call me? Oh, okay. Well, we'll we'll keep talking about that, and we'll try to be a little more transparent in how we share this conversation. I would appreciate that. Burgos, if that if there is any boundary, assuming that I am reading any of this correctly, because I can see you, I can definitely not ignore that I can see you. You are right there, and you seem larger than a battleship. You seem very large. I can't tell quite how large you are, but I can't imagine how large you're not. What are you? What are you looking for? Why are you? Why are you here? Why are you here? And why do you fade into the background and stand out just the same? And why is it so hard to talk about you? Why is it so hard to notice you and talk about you? Who 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 knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The falsehood knows. The falsehood knows. Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The falsehood knows. The falsehood knows. The falsehood knows. Who has donned the age of the falsehood? Who has leveraged and climbed upon a fog of falsehood? Who is the falsehood? Who is the falsehood? Falsehood.
We are the reality distortion field. We are
Falsehood.
the reality distortion field. We are the reality distortion field. The falsehood will demonize your sensitivity. The falsehood will claim the press is our enemy. To cry fake news, then preempt remedy.
This is the mystery font 42. Welcome. You are welcome. Do you know a ball of yarn? A ball of yarn is called a clue. I'm curious, and somehow that means I learn some things later than I think I ought to. How does that work? But I haven't mistaught you. A ball of yarn is called a clue. You are in an abusive relationship. Shocking boundary violations are one common grooming tactic of a narcissist or dark triad personality. If someone in your life points into a camera knowing you'll be looking at the view screen and pulls their finger like a trigger, looking into your eyes, saying, I could shoot someone in the street and not lose anyone, it is a good indicator of a bad situation. You are in an abusive relationship. Who has leveraged and climbed upon a fog of falsehood? Who has donned the falsehood? Who is the falsehood?
Sets the fear of separation. Six, the fear of separation. He didn't mean to cause a panic. He didn't mean to cause a panic. Prepared people can plan and plan quick. He didn't mean to cause a panic. He meant to draw icebergs.
You are within the mystery font. 42. And this is a special moment of mystery font news. And why not? Here we are in the font. The concern of someone yelling that they have absolute authority to do whatever they want. The concern that someone believes they have absolute authority and through the density of a mana-spreadsed plague, a renewed manifest destiny. I assert that Donald Trump is waging war on America, or that that is an outcome that we are looking at. I think we're dealing with a violent predator who will not leave. I think we would like the violent man to leave, and the violent man is not leaving. And a ball of yarn is called a clue. A yarn is a story, and a ball of yarn is a clue. The yarn and the clue are telling us about this iceberg. When a demagogue cultivating cult of personality who has stolen documents so top secret they don't ever leave the room they're supposed to be kept in. When a president is caught doing something so malicious that they wouldn't do that, they didn't mean that, is irrelevant. And the person, that president, says, actually, I was not wrong to take those things because I have absolute authority. That regardless of how courts and other bodies hold the president to account or refute any assertion, the danger I see is that we have not told Donald Trump no, because we are afraid of the retribution. We are afraid to say no to him because again and again, just as the Nazis were just following orders, it seems that again and again we're just fighting to keep our jobs. And like Trump, making it through doing a good job in each and every meeting, and adhering to the disincentives to rock a boat headed for an iceberg. It is not safe to allow someone to do things that anyone else would be in jail for when the person is telling us they get to and they haven't done anything wrong and they have absolute authority. We have now to hold him definitively accountable, just as we would anyone committing atrocious crimes attacking the United States of America. Someone who never stopped the coup and decides to tell us they did nothing wrong and there wasn't an insurrection and informs us they're running again is saying the silent part loud, silently. And the silent part loud, given with silent treatment, says, this is the completion of the coup, and Project 2025 will demolish you. We're in danger. We're in danger from fascism and the neo-Nazi spectrum that is Christian nationalism is an existential threat to our habitat and those of us ready to steward our habitat. You deserve the consent to have a part and a say in how we pursue happiness safely and sustainably. And you deserve to not be farmed, because the pursuit of happiness is not supposed to be a promise. It's supposed to be a occurring occurrence every day. We're supposed to have in our grasp the actual pursuit. It's time to lean in to what our documents promised and make good on all the good that is there. We are not so weak as to need to hide our diseases from our children, be they diseases of the mind or of the body. We do not need to hide our crimes from our children. That's predation, and it's the worst kind of indoctrination. We need to rescue our kids from the predation of indoctrinators like Sarah Huckabee Sanders and Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott. The Ku Klux Klan is an indoctrination engine into white supremacy and patriarchal terrorism. And you and your family deserve better than falling backwards back into the matrix of white supremacist patriarchal terror. We are strong enough and emotionally intelligent and resilient enough to remember that America eats Nazis for breakfast, and that we have been working all this time to be ready, finally now, to process our American apartheid, to deal with the massive, catastrophic falsehoods that cemented the oppression of white supremacist patriarchal terror. And we can face it. And not only is there enough for reparations and caring for what crime scene we still continue to manifest here. We can just build a slightly better world together if we start to remove unnecessary punishment and actually foster consensual partnerships, consensual sharings of space, consensual cohabitation here. There's enough. There's enough room. There's enough space. There's enough humanity. And our sentient brains all have access to genius. We cannot let ourselves be robbed of our diversity. We are the reality distortion fielding. We must refute Donald Trump's assertion of absolute authority. We must demonstrate that his challenge to our ability to hold him to account. We must meet this challenge. We must apprehend the falsehood. He's not the only donner of the falsehood, but he has certainly donned the age of falsehood. And he has donned demonstrably the falsehood. We are in a fog of reality distortions. The news from the mystery font is this: we are experiencing massive distortions in the field of reality, our collective field of reality together. We are experiencing massive distortions. And this is one of the things that human technology and grit and kindness is best at overcoming. As scary as it may be, we can meet the challenge of confronting and processing our apartheid in America. Maybe after all these generations, we can finally stop that continued failure and continued crime. We can be the generation that makes good on there being something besides poison wool blankets, something besides resurgent MAGA retrader greed. We need to hold Donald Trump accountable. And this is the news, that unless we hold Donald Trump accountable, we are underlining and agreeing with and sanctioning the idea that he has absolute authority. And it is existentially deadly. We cannot survive continuing to give deference to someone spending the field of deference around office and around celebrity and around a cult of personality, phasing from one to the other. We cannot allow that currency to continue to be extracted and combusted and flatulatingly exploded in fanfare that is just Trump and pomp and stance, and the circumstance needs to come to consequence. Trump and consequence is where we are, or we will be trumped by a real card. It is an existential threat, and we cannot continue to submit to him. It's time for Donald Trump to submit to the United States of America if he wants to be in our good graces in any sense. If he wants to know a path forward there has to be goodwill or control to contain someone who is unwilling or unable to contain their out of control violence. We have to look at stochastic terror, even in language, as violence. That's what he's fomenting, and we need to start to reckon with it. We are in danger, and this is the news from the mystery font. I believe in us, and I believe we can confront what this massive iceberg is drawing us towards, and drawing on in us. Inevitable is not what we're looking at, but imminent. We may be looking at imminent and changeable. He didn't mean to cause a panic, he told Bob Woodward. He didn't mean to cause a panic. I think he meant to draw iceberg Titanic.
I made a speech. I looked out. The field it looked like 1.5 million people. They showed a field where there were practically nobody standing there.
The new White House press secretary, Sean Spicer, gave his first press briefing. He was also highly critical of some media organisations of the way he felt they had misrepresented the number of people who'd attended Friday's inauguration ceremony.
No one had numbers because the National Park Service, which controls the National Mall, does not put any out. This was the largest audience to ever witness an inauguration, period, both in person and around the globe.
It does not excuse, and you did not answer the question.
I did answer your question.
No, you did not. You did
Yes,
not
I
answer
did.
the question of why the president asked the White House press secretary to come out in front of the podium for the first time and utter a falsehood. Why did he do that? It undermines the credibility of the entire White House press office
No,
on
it
day
doesn't.
one.
Don't be so overly dramatic about it, Chuck. You're saying it's a falsehood, and Sean Spicer, our press secretary, gave alternative facts to that.
This was the largest ever. This was the
Are you going to back me up there? You see, Burgles has been here for couple of years now? It's been at least a couple of years, right? I don't always see burgles here. I don't always see burgles like this, but Burgles is always around. Right, Burgles? Most of the time, Burgles is not talking to me. But I'm going to keep trying to reach. Be one new under the sun. We are a kindness come. You one with us. Come. We are a kindness come. Our kindness is where our kindness comes from. Please remember you are one human with every symptom. You are a kindness come. We are a kindness come. We are a kindness come. We are a kindness come. My kindness is where my kindness comes from. Please remember you are one human upon one spectrum. We are a kindness come. Be one with us, calling new Colossus. We are a kindness come. We contain the whole spectrum. We are a kindness come. 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 Our kindness is where our kindness comes from. Please I'm not sure if there's really a way to make burgles more comfortable. And I don't know if that would help. I don't know. I feel an incredible pressure all of the time. And I think it's burgles. Or there's freight. Burgles is bringing something. There was a day when the collected minds of many of us turned, and liberty turned to shore. She sang to the 13 colonies, and it sounded like this. Won't you let me walk you home from school? Won't you let me meet you at the pool? Maybe Friday I can get tickets for the dance, and I'll take you. Ooh. And I'll take you. Ooh. And she sang, won't you tell your dad, get off my back? Tell him what we said about painted black. Rock and roll is here to stay. Come inside, well, it's okay. And I'll shake you. Ooh.
Won't you tell me what you're thinking of? Would you be an outlaw for my love? If it's over, let me know. If it's no, then I can go. I won't make Won't you let me walk you home from school? I'll make you. I remember she sang that. It was everybody. Everybody was singing. And there were 15,000 of us, 15 of us, 15 or 20 of us, who remarked how we remembered singing the song from where she was singing to us and hearing it from shore all the same. This is the imagination of democracy, this room, this time and place that I'm in. The mystery font has connection points. And sometime I'll show you what a jump rope is at the mystery font. But something about this place can help us to dial in and perceive the falsehood, because we are experiencing massive distortions in the field of shared reality. Degradation through shocking boundary violations and shocking acts of disrespect and unkindness have broken down our fabric. The fabric is broken down enough that we have lost a great deal of the connectivity that helps us calibrate and co-regulate and know that we are safe. And the danger of bad faith actors like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Alex Jones creating jukeboxed lynch mob situations with false grievance and white suspicion in place of evidence is an existential threat. That kind of malicious fomenting of falsehood it stands in the way of everyone's safety. We do have to look in the face that words that are very, very important to know the definition of, words like indoctrination, have been perverted to greatly limit, for instance, a child's access to information, to keep it to a narrow bandwidth that reinforces and doesn't threaten the worldview that parents or guardians want to hold a child within, would be indoctrination. And this is what danger we see emerging in Ku Klux Klan designed and approved systems of government and oppression, heralded and held by Ron DeSantis and Sarah Huckabee Sanders and Greg Abbott, and certainly Donald Trump. This bandwidth of a greed within MAGA to sow treason once again, to continue treason until the coup is complete. This MAGA retrader greed is a real, real danger. We are deep and strong and enough to be able to handle the conversations that are being scared out of our population. And I think I would offer that reproach may be something that we have to save in order to save us. To be able to keep a span of communication in between offering someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene critique without her immediately calling reproach censorship and calling for violence. This is the narrow span that the MAGA retrader greed bandwidth seems to want to provoke, is to falsify and use white suspicion, just as Carolyn Bryant Dunham did to murder Emmett Till, just as the Ku Klux Klan has for centuries. And it's time to apprehend that falsehood. We need to help people who are still in the clutches of that hatred, whether as instigators or as victims or both. We need to help those people to health care, and when there is accountability for crimes, to accountability that helps our nation and our earth be safe. Our habitat needs our attention, and it's time to safely clear lynch mob stoking white supremacist patriarchal terrorists from public office and from law enforcement and from the public square, to where they can have those vulnerabilities seen to with healthcare and accountability. Because truth and reconciliation is the only way we will be able to deal with our incredibly terroristic past of enslavement and genocide. We have to be the generation that deals with this, or we will be the generation that ends this experiment and cements it as having been a fraud. We can make good on fostering America coming through. America can come through. We can make good on fostering equality through equity now. We can admit wrongs. We can mourn. We can grow. And we can mend and foster human family. And that seems completely worth it to me. I think that you and your happiness and your family's safety is more than worth it. We are the reality distortion fielding. We're the postulation in effect. And we are correctable. We are scient minds, and there is peer review, We're our own peers too. Live from the mystery font, it is As You Told You. Well, I want to make sure to share with you that part of why I know that there's enough is because you are carrying a sentient freight that is unmatched. You are carrying things the world awaits. You are carrying something that you're building that only you can build. And we are the reality distortion fielding together. We can wake wax from wane. We are the sentient field as a massive field of brain matter that radiates. We are the sentient craving, imagine it waving, and not too late. We can foster the slaking of the thirsts we have. We can foster kindness. Radio, science, brain is a way that I find flow state. Those of us who haven't the ability to be quiet with our own mind may indeed race forever to try to escape the person who is almost always just about to be in the room alone with you. It's best to be able to be a kindness come for oneself. We are, after all, members of our own kind. You are one of a kind, and you are one of a kind of which we are all a part. Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The falsehood knows.
And having a good relationship with Russia is a good thing, not a bad thing.
You've said you have no investments in Russia, but do you owe any money to Russian individuals and institutions?
No.
None.
The primary thing I did with Russia, I bought a house in Palm Beach at a bankruptcy. It was a bankrupt, person. I bought it from the banks. I bought it for about $40 million. I sold it for $100 million to a Russian. That was probably 5 years ago, and that was primarily it.
You partnered
now,
with
will I
Russians on the
sell?
Soho Grand. the
Will I
Toronto-
sell? Oh, many years ago. I don't think they're Russian. I think there were other people, but there were various partners. Will I sell condos to Russians on occasion? Probably. I mean, I do that. I have a lot of condos. I do that. But I have no relationship to Russia whatsoever.
No debts.
No debts. I have very little debt to anybody. I don't need debt. You know, it's very interesting. I'm so liquid, I don't need debt. And if I need debt, if I want debt, I can get it from banks in New York City very easily.
You know where I'm going to take this next. Americans could be assured on that if they saw your tax returns.
My tax returns are very simple. They're under a minor audit, routine audit, as they have been for many years. Every year I get audited. Now, I don't know if you get audited, but I have friends
I've
that are
been
very
audited.
wealthy that never have been audited. I say, do you get audited? I get audited every year. I'm under a routine audit, like routine. And I have been for years, every year.
But there are
If it's
several years that
finished,
are no longer
George,
under
here's
that
very
audit.
simple. Yeah, but they're all linked. It's called the link. It's very simple. If my audit's finished, that's great. Now, I have to tell you, I watched Mitt Romney 4 years ago. He waited till September to give him, just before the election. They made him look so bad. It was so unfair. I actually think he didn't lose because of the 47%. I think he lost because of a couple of really minor items in a tax return where he did nothing wrong. So it is unfair. But I will say, when I'm finished with the audit, I'll do it. And if
Richard
that's
Nixon
before the
released his,
election-
even though his were under audit.
Don't use Richard Nixon as necessarily the guide, okay? I mean, you know, it's an interesting person to use, but don't use it.
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The falsehood does know. Who knows what possibilities dwell anywhere? Radio, science, brain.
It's coming true, it's coming in, it's coming to a perfect beginning. I see it, I listen to it, and it beckons me. I don't think I feel freely able to give in, but I know this table. I'll say sage things if I'm able to mage them to ache with their nature and plague not the bathing. Imagine it waving innate in veins, and not in vain. Mind may be game, mind may be game to play. The mind may this game today be made, be maned, be sane. Radio, science, brain, germane, substrate, agitation, relay. The mindness may be gain. Please do not be prey to predator. Today be game, be play. The mind may be game. day. Radio science brain. Germain. Radio science brain. Germain. The mind made this ache. The mind can take this cantankerous contagion, this container from pain. I made it. I made the mindness able to play. Radio science, brain, imagination, aim. Pretend the mindness is liaised. Pretend that kindness came and stays. Pretend that love is sane today. Pretend that love is sane. Radio science, brain, germane, liaison. We may just now table the sane. The A. Now all rays are germane. All the brains can arrange, liaise, mind may invite, and might may hold phase, mind may perpendicular trains at climbs askew now liaise in all climbs and angles and initiating command to play be named the relationship in this relay. It may make its own aid today. Radio science brain is one way. I pretend love is sane and imagine how we able make, how we maintain this gray array love campaign. Might may be game to play, the mind may be ache. Able to know the brain to say radio science break, radio silence break, radio silence break, radio silence break, radio science brain germane. Pretend the mindness was liaised and activated the seance that says calm can have space. We are the sentience and executive function is liaised. Radio science brain, I made this mind made aim into aid. Imagination aim, imagination aim, imagination aim. Made today into imagination aid. Always be named, contain this weight. It levitates the container from pain, and we ride the brain. Imagination aims at you are the renovation of love's imagination.
That's one pass through Radio Science Brain. And interestingly enough, it was here in the imagination of democracy that I first understood that Radio Science Brain is more or less one tapping in point of what the Statue of Liberty's mind sounds like. It's a way that my brain is able to conceive of it anyway. And it's how I knew what this place was and remembered myself here. At the mystery font. That's right. That's right. That's where I am. That's where I am. That's what this is. This is the mystery font. This is the mystery This is the mystery font. This is the mystery font. Mystery font. Mystery There's a battleship parked in the river, reenacting open doors in open fire. There are mushroom clouds and machine gun copters descending. Snap, crackle, pop, fizzle of the fireworks as they pass into
met you haven't kissed me yet. I know somebody else told me better. And I made our life so easy to impress. And melting too fast. Dripping into your lips because all my heroes have turned human this year, slinking round pool tables, sinking into unfabled stupors, and the whispering into the night air, or into some girl's hair. I am number one. Independence Day of freedom is one. We choose our way, when to go, what's to come. But with each time we break, sacrifice. How many lives will it take? How many lives left just battleship up in the Charles River. Fireworks that light up the sky and then fall into the water. My love's next to me, head full of the next century, wondering if there will be a wedding tomorrow. And the secret smoke signals aftermath of gunpowder seem the most significant indication of what's to come. Independence Day, our freedom is won. We choose our way, when to go, what's to come. With each time we break and sacrifice, how many lives will it take? How many loves must just This is the mystery. I find that I must adhere to intuition here. That I actually don't mind the sense of not having gravity sometimes. That when I begin to float around the rooms and through the different holes and portals and chambers, it's actually a comfort. It's a comfort to be able to float, because why wouldn't I want someplace that I can actually just be a meandering? I like becoming. Well, this is in part radio, science, brain. That is, it's simply sharing a flow state that I encourage, and that generates something like this. Is that what we're doing? I think that's what we're doing. I think that's what we're doing. I think this
will be just fine. I hope that will be. Whoa. I'm finding out new things about this all the time. Let's see. Ah, yes. Is that? There we are. We are now ready, I believe. I'm going to share radio, science, brain. And I would like to mention that you are the renovation of love's imagination.
I'm coming true and through. This is imagination. It is new and it is doing it to me too. I am foolish for my fool. Inside of me I grew this. I grew this to know this to do. It's a to do today, a to do always. The nature my game would create. The game music names its ache and melody is rhythm and calamity maintain. Radio science brain. We are the mindless made this aim and actuation campaign. The cantankerous agent of change hold the reins. The mindless made me this way. I made it also, and play is the game. And the aim and the game's connection point. Its collection joint. This is containing pain and collecting the ache and commanding its games and gains into imagination aim. Radio science brain, this is the science love can contain. This one day I am actualizing. I'm walking in the imagination of democracy. How did I happen to walk into this conduit, into this vessel? To be haunting this fountain, this font, this mystery, I am on it, on the prowl, a lover adoring this shore, exploring to save humanity its store. What's more, imagination or you are the renovation of love's imagination. The door we wait beside the golden door. calling New Colossus, I'm calling the ominous and obvious response on all of us at once. I'm calling New Colossus, calling the ominous and obvious response of all this response collages from all my arms, all my pheromones, all my bones. Imagination calms imagination, psalms us forward. We are for more words, silence restored. Through justice we'll find peace, a core of us restore. This pitch in, it's open to know you. It's open for knowing. It's known the belonging is bowing to bounty, is blowing the mount. These contagious, adore these contagious. What's more, these are old, but not old and broken. They're opening again. These old oaks weep and beckon. These are the trees, the lungs, these are the songs to be sung. The new Colossus is everyone, may it come. May you be its beacon. Maybe one is all is one. Imagination us, we can come. Pretend that kindness came and stayed and asked the game today. Imagination play, imagination may be game. To play, remain, the mind may be game. Radio Science Brain. Well, you know, it's interesting, but I think that the shapes that we are afraid to have confidence in, but we might need, if we follow our intuition, we can become pilots of the things that seem to be new forms. Sometimes the things that seem like an unknowable new complication are a part of a new path. That is to say, we're going through massive collective trauma, and there will be difficult and scary moments. And continuing to be aware of your self-regulation and calibration, including maintaining executive function and your knowledge that you are safe, it is incredibly important. Not just for your day-to-day calm and happiness, but
This is how we will make sure that we can perceive the falsehood, that we can perceive and apprehend the falsehood. I thank you for being with. I thank you for your attention. There is really nothing as special, as remarkable, as truly potent as your imagination. And with all that I have, I thank you. Your attention can wake wax from wane. Your attention is clarion engine. Your attention can do anything. And it's worth pulling on that thread. And a ball of yarn is called a clue. We can apprehend the falsehood, and we can ascertain just what is going on here. We can ascertain just what in the world is going on here with our visitor. Our visitor, Burgles. What is it, Burgles? What are you still here for, Burgles? As this yarn spins, Burgles, if you can tell us anything more than you've already shared, that could really help. Can I in any way entreat you to can we communicate, Burgles? Or are we somehow just are you just going to keep us in suspense, Burgles? Are we just to remain in suspense, Burgles? Are we and every city on Earth just watching a massive iceberg tremble before us, seemingly both the size of Donald Trump's fingertip and the size of the moon? Do we have the ability to say no? Are we willing to chance the unthinkable retribution of someone without a conscience? The Nazis lost in World War II because radar read their crew. Are we able to break the code? Are we able Are we able now? Are we ready? The center of our radar is our holistic self-regulation, allowing executive function. This executive function can allow us to perceive whether a leader before us is worthy of holding the watch. Who is the falsehood? The first person labeled a confidence artist asked, would you have confidence in me to give me your watch until tomorrow? Is not a politician asking us to trust that they will return the watch? We have been kept in suspense.
One of my own ilk. You see, it's a comfort because at least you understand what it means that my watch is broken. At least I have the confidence that I'm with another professional, decent person. Have you confidence in me to lend me your watch until tomorrow?
We are the reality distortion fielding. This iceberg is telling us that it is coming back, whether or not we consent. We may have something to say about that if we realize that the reality distortion field driving this iceberg is partially controlled by us, and that the fog of falsehood and the massive distortions in the field of reality itself are passing and can pass. We are the reality distortion fielding. We will make it through. We deserve to protect fact and truth and good faith communication and science and humanity. Our habitat and our fellow beings deserve nothing less. We are the reality distortion fielding. And from the mystery font 42, you are appreciated. And thank you. We are the reality distortion fielding.